Hello, hello, hello. I am author and entrepreneur, the cerebral palsy vigilante, Zachary Fenell. Anyone who's been keeping tabs on me the past couple of years know I have passionately entered the road race scene. And it's amazing. I'm up to 9 events completed now. And with each event, I'm learning I'm either learning a valuable life lesson or I'm having a valuable life lesson reinforced. So valuable that it would be selfish to keep them to myself. So today, I am taking you on a look back at my first 9 events, and we are going to explore the valuable life lessons I have learned from road racing, and hopefully one of these lessons, if not more, will be something you can take away and help apply to your own life. For starters, my road racing experience began in August of 2014 at the Inside the Park Home Run 5K and 1 mile fun walk event. I did the 1 mile fun walk. You can see they give you a finisher medal for completing the race. And with the fun walk and with this event, what I learned was put yourself in motivational settings. Put yourself in settings that are going to motivate you. Maybe not motivational settings, but settings that are going to motivate you. Before this point, before August of 2014, for a couple of years, I've been saying that I'm going to walk a half marathon. But I never really put I never put serious effort into it until after I did this event, and it just made me hungry for more. So again, that first lesson is put yourself in settings that are going to motivate you. Up next, about 8 months later, in April, the end of April 2015, I did a 3-mile walk, the walk and run event. And the lesson I learned here is kind of cliche, but during one of the most memorable things about this event was it was in the middle of downtown Cleveland, and there's a curb going down into the street, and I didn't realize it at first, and I ended up falling because I didn't know that difference was there. And it's cliche. The cliche is you fall down, get yourself back up. That's exactly what I did, and I was doing the event with some friends, and it was something that we had fun with the rest of the time. Is whether it be a step up or a step down, my friends would point and go, "Step, Zach," and we'd have some fun with it. It was a good time, and so it's just taking a bad situation, making it better by just not letting something bad keep you down. And later, returning to August of a year later, after I did that 1 mile fun walk that was so motivating for me, I ended up taking my first real big milestone in my half marathon training, and that was the Run Through History 5K. It was my first 5K. This shirt might look familiar to some of my long-term viewers, as I did a video, Cerebral Palsy Be Damned, my first 5K, and I was wearing this shirt because it symbolized that 5K. But the lesson I learned during this race, because I finished dead last, it took me an hour 2 minute plus for me to finish. And what I learned though, and being dead last, I finished dead last. What I learned was don't focus on other people. Focus on you. So complete your own race. And even these lessons are life lessons. They apply to stuff outside of athletics, outside of physical activity. So whatever the situation is with your life, I don't care what other people are doing. Don't care what other people are doing. And I know that's easier said than done. But focus on what you are doing. And things get a lot easier. So that was the life lesson I learned from my first 5K was focus on you, not on other people. Moving on. And this is one that really was not just a life lesson learned as much as a lesson reinforced. This was in March of 2016, the Monsters Community Fun Run. And I finished this 5K, so my second 5K ever. And I finished this one in 57 minutes and basically almost 5 minutes better than I did the Run Through History 2015. And that really reinforced a lesson to me that hard work does pay off. Because I had been training. We had a mild winter in 2016, end of 2015. So I've been getting out and I've been doing, 5-6 miles at that point, trying to train for that half marathon, which we'll get to a little bit. And so it just that was that, that almost 5-minute improvement with the Monsters Community 5K. As you can see, another finisher medal. It just goes to show that hard work does pay off. Moving on, a month later, I participated in the Live Long Lyndhurst 5K. And this 5K, it's funny, interesting story. They thought I finished last. The race organizers thought I finished last. There was actually an older lady behind. I did this race with my father. There's an older lady behind us and her daughter who was doing the race with her. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if she wasn't wearing her bib number or if it was the fault of the organizers, but they didn't realize she was still on the course and they thought I finished last. And so they actually, just to show that everyone matters, they gave a gift certificate to Legacy Village, the place that it was held at. Small gift certificate to my father and me for completing the race. And then my father's like, oh no, there's someone else. And a few minutes later, this older woman and her daughter come up. They reinflate the finish line for her so she can finish. And I just felt like that would suck. If that was me, that would suck to be like that. They were already starting to take things down for them to put it back up. So I made an effort to go over there, congratulate her, tell her I saw her. And what it basically boils down to, I learned that she was, in her 70s, a retired nurse. Basically what this life lesson boils down to, make a long story short, is everybody has a story. So don't look at where you are as first place, last place, or however that metaphorically applies to whatever endeavors in your life. Don't look at the place. Just remember that everybody has a story and try to think and be curious about what that person's story is. And so that was April of 2016. Moving along, it took kind of a few month hiatus from I was still training for the half marathon, but I wasn't doing any organized races, partly because of not really having the money to register and, financially in a tight spot. But as a birthday gift, my parents registered me for the Run Through History 5K again, and this was for August of 2016. And the lesson I learned here is there's no such thing as being over prepared. I was working hard on the Lakeview Cemetery course is hilly, and they actually changed it up, so it was actually more of a challenge. And I was working hard, and it showed because the easier route the year before I finished, as I said, over an hour and 2 minutes. This one I finished in less than an hour. I can't remember the exact time off the top of my head, but it was a more challenging course, and I finished in quicker time. And it just goes to show that the course is more challenging than I expected, but I was ready for it because I was preparing. And there's no such thing as being over prepared. That's the lesson with basketball. And then at this point, I mentioned the financial thing for a reason. Because I was fortunate enough that James Schleicher and president of Team IBB, Gary Caldukian, vice president, and the guys at Team IBB decided to sponsor me. Thank you to my fellow sponsored athlete on Team IBB, Mike Manazzi, who actually had the hat sent to James's embroider so I could get the IBB on it. But at this point, I became a sponsored athlete. And the first race I did as a sponsored athlete was in September of 2016. It was the Helping Hand Hero Run 2016. And right now, my results at this event is my current best, my current PR, my current personal best is with a 5K. And the lesson in that is so earlier I talked about the Monsters community run 5K where I finished in nearly 5 minutes better than my first 5K. Well, in this 5K, I finished over a minute and a half better than my previous best. And that life lesson there is success is continual. Success does not stop. It's not, James likes to say this, so it's fitting that he's my sponsor, that success is not a checkbox. You don't check off success. It's a continual thing. And that's what I learned through getting this new personal, best. And it's not, again, it's a minute and a half, over a minute and a half. That's, significant time when you talk about results for a race. So, yes, success is continual. You need to maintain and continue, and your success, you'll continue to improve. And then came the big one. The Towpath Marathon, half marathon, which I completed in October of 2016. 2 years of serious training from that being in a setting that motivated me to this. And you see the finisher medal, which means a lot to me because it was a lot of hard work to get this. Half marathon is 13.1 miles. And the last couple of miles were really rough for me. But what kept me going, the life lesson with the Towpath half marathon that I completed, this life lesson is Do it for someone more than yourself. I've been sharing my race experiences through social media, and other and my training through social media, and other people were coming to me telling me how I was inspiring them to get out and be more active. And that feedback drove me, because all of a sudden it wasn't about me finishing that, about me crossing that finish line. It was about it wasn't about just me doing it. It was about doing it for that, doing it for others out there who felt, who that inspired this shirt, the run, walk, roll, limp, however you move shirt. That encouragement I received inspired me to create this shirt and put this shirt on sale. If you're interested, please contact me. It's currently not on sale, but we could possibly get another sale going with enough interest. But getting back, so that encouragement was a big changer for me. It kept me going at 11, 12 miles when I was hurting, and I could, barely keep going. It was the fact that I was doing it for those other people who reached out to me and said they were encouraged to become more active because of me, or their son or daughter felt inspired because of what I was doing. That kept me going. So that life lesson is, whatever you're doing in life, don't just do it for yourself. Do it for other people too. And we talked about how life is, with the Helping Hands life lesson, that life success is continual. James and I are planning to this fall do a full marathon. So I purposely at first did a half, because I'm like, there's no way I could do a full. But now that I've done a full marathon, now that I've done a half, the full, it's just like, I gotta try it, see if it works, and see if I can do it, test my limits. Success is continual. And so that leads to the final race that the most recent race I did, which was back at my alma mater for high school, Brush High School, the Celebrate Mom's 5K. And I actually walked the 2 miles up to the school to do the 5K, and then did the 3.1 miles. And I mentioned that because that really is where the life lesson in this for this one comes in. And that life lesson is, know what you want out of life. Know what you want out of whatever you're doing. I finished this 5K in a time of 59 minutes and 31 seconds. So it wasn't a new personal best. So, and I didn't really have ambition I didn't have like a goal time to finish it. Instead, I was just looking at this race, doing the 2 miles up, doing the 3.1 miles part of the 5K, in an effort to prepare myself for the full marathon coming up with James, begin some serious training again, because this past winter I've been kind of slacking on the training. But, so it was, know what you want out of life. Know what you want out of whatever you're doing. And so I wasn't concerned with, oh my God, I didn't get a new personal best when I probably could have had I had fresh legs. But rather, I'm like, I want to go distance. I want to do those 2 miles plus the 3.1, because I have 26.2 miles to prepare for when I do a marathon later this year. So, but again, that's ahead. A lot of training ahead to do for that. But the life lesson with the Celebrate Mom's 5K is, know what you want out of whatever you're doing. Hopefully, you found those life lessons helpful. And if you've liked this video, go ahead and show it by giving me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And hopefully you take something away with these lessons. And last but not least, I'll see you at the races.